Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you everyone. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time that you are joining us, kindly hit the subscription button and be part of this channel. Don't forget to give this video a like or thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. YouTube will automatically let you know when I upload a video. The government is proposing a lot of drastic changes with regard to the NHIF fund. And the latest move is that the bill is already at the floor of the House or the floor of the Parliament. The bill has gone up to its second reading. It awaits the third reading, and thereafter it will be forwarded to the President for the signing it into law. For your information, there is a lot of changes. There is a lot of penalties and fines that have been introduced with regard to this NHIF that now will be known as Nhif. Nhif means, or in full, is Social Health Insurance Fund. The first change or the first proposal that is in the bill is that every employee will now pay a total of 2.75% of their basic earnings or basic salary. That is, if you are earning, let's say, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, 1 million, you will be subjected to pay 2.75% of your salary. That is the basic salary. And it states that if an employer will deduct that money and fail to remit it to the Social Health Insurance Fund, currently known as NHIF, an employer risks to be fined a total of Kenya shillings 2 million. So that is if you deduct the payments and you fail to remit them as required by the law. Number two is that if an employer will give falsified statements with regard to the deductions or the contributions of the members of the Nhif, then an employer will also risk to be fined a total of not less than 2 million Kenya shillings, or the employer risks imprisonment of not less than 3 years term limit. So that is the proposal that is at the floor of the House. When it comes to healthcare providers or hospitals or healthcare facilities that gives healthcare services, you know, the Nhif will be the reimbursing body after a patient have come into your hospital and you have treated him or her. Then you will claim for the reimbursement from this fund. That is, you'll lay the claim to the Nhif and then you will be reimbursed on the payment. This clause states that if a healthcare facility falsifies information or statements with regard to the treatment of the patient, then the healthcare facility risks a fine of 2 million Kenya shillings, up from the current penalty of 500,000 Kenya shillings. So there is an increase of close to 1.5 million when it comes to the penalties or the fine that will be charged the healthcare facilities that give wrongful information to the fund. Number 4, the clause number 4 says that the Nhif body, that is the Social health insurance fund. If anyone will be found engaging in corrupt activities, that is mismanaging the fund, embezzling the fund, or misappropriation, then you risk a term limit of not less than 5 years in prison or behind bars, or you will also be fined a total of 10 million Kenya shillings. That is for your information. If you will be working for this fund and it happened that you misappropriate the fund, then you risk a fine of not less than 10 million or imprisonment of a 5-year jail term. Clause number 5, from the documents that I've seen, there are also cases whereby people want to impersonate as beneficiaries of the funds. You find that somebody is not a member of the fund but is benefiting from the fund. If you will be found in that angle, benefiting from the fund yet you are not a member, you risk a fine of not less than 1 million Kenya shillings or imprisonment of a jail term not less than 3 years. So that is to say, maybe you are not a member and you walk into a healthcare facility or you collide with the chief staff and then you are treated and they claim reimbursement on your behalf, then you will find yourself paying a fine of 1 million Kenya shillings or imprisonment of 3-year jail term. Clause number 6. This now is the penalty that is always there for those who fail to remit or for those who fail to pay the monthly contribution. Initially with the current NHIF, it stands at 2%, not 2%. Initially with the current NHIF, it stands at 10%. That is, if you fail to pay your monthly contribution, you risk being charged 10% of what you have been paying for. But with the latest changes or reforms is that you will now be forced to pay a total of 2% of what you have been paying. That is if you fail to pay your monthly contributions. Last but not least is that the employees or the staff who will be working for social health insurance fund will now be reapplying for the jobs after every 1 year. That is, if you have been working for the shift and then you have worked for a total of 1 year, then you will be forced to reapply for the same position after every 1 year. You will be forced to go through the processes of applying for the job, interview, and being reemployed back to the fund. So those are the latest changes that are going to happen if the bill goes through all the stages and it is signed into law by the president. The question is, we have always seen a lot of reforms, we have always seen a lot of changes coming in every day with the current NHIF fund. But you find that the forest is the same, but the monkeys that always join the forest are different, but the characteristics, the habits, the corruption, the misappropriation, the embezzlement of the fund is always there, despite new people joining this insurance fund. So you ask yourself, when is that day will we have rightful people in office who will be ready to serve and to work to the best interest of Kenyans? Because from the look of the things, this might just be the normal things that always happen in this country, but you find that the corruption will still remain to be there and nobody will care about the changes or about the laws that have been formed. So it calls for a lot of questions, and it calls for a lot of sobriety, because if for sure Kenyans will be paying their money to this fund, and at the end of the day they will lack the value for their money, then it will be amounting to useless. Even these reforms that are now on the floor of the parliament, if there will be no seriousness when it comes to taming and eradicating corruption completely at the fund. So guys, that is the news that is there. As usual, at the comment section, let us meet. Drop your view, drop your opinion, drop what you think about these changes. Otherwise, thank you so much for your time and enjoy your day. Bye bye.